Welcome back to Learn SKN, and today we're going to continue looking at the May-June 2017 CXC Economics Paper 2. We looked at Paper 3, Question 3 and 4 last time, and so we're going to be looking at Question 5. 3 and 4 were shorter form and questions. They were 15 mark each, but paper number 5 and 6 are going to be 20 mark questions, a little longer. And so you know what to do first before we jump into it. You like the video, you subscribe to the channel, and you hit the notification bell so you know when Learn SKN drops question number 6. But today we're looking at question number 5. So let's just jump right into it. Number 5A, define the term unemployment. Define the term unemployment. So let's just jump to our textbook so we can define the term unemployment. Unemployment. Any person who is actively seeking employment and is willing and able to work but unable to find work is considered unemployed. So that long-winded thing is the definition of unemployment. Anyone who is actively seeking work, they are willing and able, but they just can't find a job, they are considered unemployed. So unemployment are those persons who are willing and able to work and are actively seeking a job, but are unable to do so. They are considered unemployed. So that's unemployment, the definition of unemployment. 2 easy, simple marks just like that. And it gets easier still. Number 5B, list 5 types of unemployment. All you have to do right now is list them. 5 types of unemployment. That's all asking for. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we're not going to jump into them just yet. So the first one we have here is frictional unemployment. Then we have seasonal unemployment. We have search unemployment. Then we have structural unemployment. And we have cyclical unemployment. And then we have real wage unemployment. So that's 1, 2. That's 3, 4, 5. So you have it. 5 right there. So they ask for 5 types. And we'll give you 5 types. 1, frictional unemployment. 2, search unemployment. 3, seasonal unemployment. 4, structural unemployment. 5, cyclical unemployment. And we have an extra bonus, real wage unemployment. So those are the 5 types of unemployment that you can find in your textbook. Other textbook will just highlight a major 3 or 4, but they have some other ones, so you get 5 for that one. So either like that, you have 5 marks. So we have 7 marks total so far. So we're moving right along. Because very easy, it's just recall questions. Now things get a little more interesting. Number 5C. Explain how any 4 types of unemployment listed in B occur. So here's a tip. If you read this before, then only put the ones that you can understand, that you can explain. Don't go writing down some that you don't know, and then when time comes for part 2, you don't know what to write. So tip, do that for all the exams. Once you see a question following up on the next question, then make sure the one above, you put stuff that you know for sure. So explain how any 4 types of unemployment listed in B above occurs. Okay, good. So let's go. Frictional unemployment. The frictionally unemployed are occupationally or geographically immobile. Though there are jobs available, these unemployed do not have the skills to match the jobs, or they are unwilling or unable to move to the part of the country where the job is. Therefore, they remain unemployed. Also considered to be frictionally unemployed are those persons who are in between jobs. And as the word suggests, friction, in between 2 things. So one definition is persons who are between jobs. So you're moving from one job to the next for a period of time. Between those two that movement, you're going to be frictionally unemployed because you're moving from one job to the next. That's one way to look at it. Then they have a next way of looking at it. Frictionally unemployed are occupationally or geographically immobile. Occupationally or geographically immobile. Meaning there are jobs out there, but you're unable to go where the jobs are. So for example, you live in the rural area in a big city, a big country, and the jobs are in, let's say, Kingston or Port of Spain. Then you don't want to uproot and move, or you don't want to get that long morning commute, then you just don't go for the job. So you're frictionally unemployed. There are jobs, though jobs are available, these unemployed do not have the skills to match the job. That's another thing right there. the skill set that you have do not match the jobs that are available. So that's a next way of looking at frictional unemployment, when the skill sets do not match the jobs that are available. So maybe you might be someone trained in more hands-on practical things, and then the jobs that are available are more high-tech, more technologically based. Then we have search unemployment. This occurs when someone who is unemployed does not take the first job that he or she is offered. The unemployed person opts to search for a better paying or more suitable job. And so this one is a little offshoot of the frictional unemployment. This is an offshoot of it, but they give it the old little definition. So search unemployment, this occurs when someone who is unemployed does not take the first job that he or she is offered. Maybe it's not a job that they like, and so they say, okay, I'm going to hold off and try and get something else. So in the meantime, when they're looking for something else, they are considered search unemployed. Then we have seasonal. Now, seasonal unemployment, as the name suggests, some workers only have jobs at a certain time of the year, when there is a demand for certain products or when a particular crop might be in season. So literally season. The workers employed in that industry might be seasonally employed, and then for the rest of the year, the workers remain unemployed. Workers involved in constructing carnival costumes might only be employed in the few months prior to carnival. Workers involved in tourism and agriculture might only be seasonally unemployed. As a seasonal is a very easy one, self-explained, it's a seasonal thing. You are only employed for the particular season, after which you're unemployed until that season comes around again. Then we have structural unemployment. This occurs when there is a change in the structure of an industry. As a result, workers become unemployed. The following are causes. Structural unemployment can be due to improvements in technology, enabling capital to replace labor. This type of structural unemployment is called technological unemployment. For small open economies, structural unemployment can also arise from falling world demand for an export. The firm in the export sector are forced to reduce output and so employ less labor. For example, falling world demand for bananas due to more foreign competition has resulted in unemployment in the Caribbean territories. In Trinidad and Tobago, the closure of Caroni Limited, the state-owned sugar producing enterprise, has also resulted in structural unemployment. Technological progress can also make the products of an industry obsolete and so cause demand to fall. And so again, this one is pretty much self-explanatory. Structural unemployment, what they're saying here is that the structure of the very industrial structure of the economy has shifted. Now, for example, if an economy once relied heavily on agriculture, and then they start shifting to more service-oriented industries, then persons who are only skilled in agriculture are going to be basically left behind, left out, because they cannot really, well, unless they go and retrain, get themselves sorted, but if they don't, they're going to be unemployed because their skills just doesn't match that particular in the industry anymore, or the industry itself has become obsolete, and as such, the persons are going to be unemployed. So, for example, if they close down all the sugarcane factories and sugarcane fields and stuff like that, or banana as they use here, then persons working in these sectors, these industries, are going to become unemployed. And so that's structural unemployment. So it's when there's a structural change in an industry. As a result, workers lose their jobs. And you see that happening all the time. Things become obsolete, new technologies come along, and things of the past are no longer. A lot of economies in the Caribbean moving towards tourism, and so a lot of agriculture-based industries become obsolete. Also, as competition ramps up overseas, we can't compete. When all the preferential treatments ended, a lot of us decided to just get out of certain agricultural industries like sugarcane. Then we have cyclical unemployment. And as you can see the trend so far, most of these are basically self-explanatory based on the name itself. Cyclical unemployment, cycle. This is all about the business cycle. So this type of unemployment is also called Keynesian unemployment or demand deficient unemployment. So when you get older and you start looking at more, if you go to CAPE and do economics, you're going to learn about John Maynard Keynes. He's one of the pioneers in certain fields of economics. He's basically the father of modern day economics, the Keynesian cross, things like that. So a lot of the graphs and stuff you're learning are from Keynesian economics. So yes, also called the Keynesian unemployment or demand deficient unemployment. There is a fall in aggregate demand in the economy. So we're talking about the boom and bust cycle, the business cycle. So as the business cycle boom, people are employed because demand is high, whatnot, everybody got money. But as the recessions kick in and demand falls, then persons are let go. They become redundant, they're unemployed because demand has fallen. And so consumption goes down, investment goes down, and so does employment. So unemployment goes up, and so that's why you have cyclical unemployment. When the business cycle reaches that recession, that bust or the trough phase. Then we have real wage unemployment. This occurs when the trade union succeeds in raising the real wage, the wage rate above the equilibrium level. At a wage above the equilibrium level, the supply of labor exceeds the demand for labor. The surplus labor is unemployed. In the diagram below, the demand curve for labor in the economy is SL. So let's look at this demand curve right here. So you have the equilibrium right here, and it's saying that because of negotiation or whatever industrial relations, the wage was increased because of the actions of the unions. And so because of this, labor gone up. So the cost of doing business for the business goes up. Labor goes up. And so because labor goes up, you are going to release some of your workers. You don't need all. You can't afford all. So the amount you used to pay for 10 workers, you can only afford maybe 5. And so you let go the other 5. And so those 5 become real wage unemployed. So, but this one is not as popular in the real world. And also, as I get older and you do more economics, you learn that these things tend to not pan out to be always true. Right? Ceteris paribus, in this case, everything is remaining the same, but in reality, things shift, things change, and so, they would make adjustments. But for now, for the textbook for high school, yes, real wage unemployment is a thing. Right? And that's when industrial action caused the cost of labor to go up, and therefore the employers don't need as much persons because it's too expensive, and so they let go of some of them. As simple as that. Because the supply of labor exceeds the demand. So all of a sudden, the producers pull back their demand for labor, but persons were there before, a lot of people were there before, and so they have to be let go, they become unemployed. And so simple as that, you have, they only asked for 4. I gave you 6. So explain any 4 types, so you got 6, and easy like that, you get your 8 marks, a giant 8 marks. So that's 2 for each. All right, so moving right along. Next question. Using the information given in table 1, justify your choice of 2 persons who would be considered unemployed. So let's go. How many marks for this one here? It's 5 marks. Okay, let's go. Let's justify it though. So Veronica was laid off and she has given up looking for work. Okay. Walter only sells an illegal drug and does not care about getting a regular job. Althea just lost her job and is actively seeking work. Stuart was fired as a teaching assistant and has applied for another job. Petra works 1 hour per week as a babysitter. Denise is a university student with no outside employment. Answer this: using the information, justify your choice of 2 persons who would be considered unemployed. And so let's go. Who's unemployed? Veronica. Let's see what Veronica was laid off and she has given up. So Veronica is not unemployed. Veronica has actually left the labor force because she has given up looking for work. So Veronica is not unemployed, so we don't need Veronica. Let's say who would be considered unemployed? Not Veronica. Walter only sells illegal drugs and does not care about getting. Walter ain't in it either. So Walter, he's not considered unemployed. He's not even in the calculations for the the workforce. Then we have Althea, just lost her job and is actively seeking work. Boom, right there, she's unemployed. She's between jobs, so she's unemployed. She's actually seeking. Then we have Stuart was fired as a teaching assistant and has applied for another job. So Stuart, for the meantime, while he's looking for a job, he's unemployed. So Althea and Stuart are unemployed. Petra works 1 hour per week as a babysitter. That's not considered employment. Babysitting is not even a part of the GDP calculation or anything like that. Part of the informal economy. So Petra is out. Denise is a university student with no outside employment. That statement doesn't help me. So the answer here is Althea and Stuart. Those two are who I would consider to be unemployed. And you can justify Althea because she lost her job and is actively seeking work. Stuart, same thing, was fired and has applied for another job. So he too is actively seeking a job. He's between jobs, he's actively seeking one. So those you justify it just like that. And with that, that's 20 easy marks. Very simple question if I do so myself. Very simple question. So that's 20 marks, just like that. And so that's it for number 5. And so we're going to come back to our next video with question number 6. But the only how you know when Learn SKN drops question number 6 for the May-June 2017 Economics CSEC Paper 2 is by subscribing, like button, and notification bell. Alright? So that's it for now. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening.